All right, guys, welcome back to Whiskey Sports. This is episode 2. All right, Rhett, I had a shitty weekend. Nothing hit in the NFL, and we did okay, I guess, in college, but we struggled a little bit.
Yeah, we called some bangers in college, but NFL, yeah, we did get hit hard.
Man,
I didn't get hit as hard because there's some games that I picked I would have lost if I did, but I did mention in the video that I'm not comfortable taking this and I wouldn't bet it if I was, the people out there. But yeah, the NFL was weird this week. I mean, Jesus,
all the underdogs,
many underdogs winning. But that's betting, man. That's the way it works. But we did get some good ones in there in college. I mean, called the Wake Forest North Carolina over and also called them beating and upset, I guess, by favorites. They weren't technically, upsetting Wake Forest, but
yeah,
still a big win.
So, yeah.
We called Purdue outright. We just knew that was going to be a letdown game for Michigan State. Thursday night, I did get you. I said Colts would cover, and they did. Now, that was scary.
If Mike White stays in the game, it's a different ball game.
I just don't think he'll ever do that again, but maybe you're right. Maybe he does, but
I don't know if he's out or not again, but I know it's his.
No, he's starting. They named him starting quarterback. So he'll be there against the struggling Bills. We'll see. We'll talk about that game later, but yeah, I mean, it was up and down. You got me on the Ohio State Nebraska game. You said plus 15, but I also said I would take Nebraska plus 15, but I was going to take Ohio State minus 14 and by the point, which didn't happen either way.
Nebraska's kept.
I don't know what Ohio State
games. I mean, dude, they've lost like 7, 7, 7, 3, 7. Like all their losses have been within 7 points. So
yeah, I mean,
Ohio State struggled. I was at the Ohio State game, and they for sure struggled. So.
I think they got a little favoritism in that game too by the refs. Kind of screwed Nebraska a little bit in that game towards the end, but
yeah, for sure.
But they kind of had. I guess they kind of. I mean, they didn't have to. Ohio State was going to win either way.
They can't lose that. They can't let Ohio State lose that game. Come on,
man. But yeah, up and down. Like at the very beginning of the day, when Wake Forest when Wake Forest went the over, when I bet that and the North Carolina cover, I was like, okay.
The over, yeah. You would have scored 100.
And then we won we set our lock of the week with Tennessee winning outright. They did. It was close, but they did.
Yeah, that was easy. What is y'all won 34 of the past 37 games against Kentucky?
Yeah, we have. I mean,
you own Kentucky.
Domination. People, if Kentucky fan ever watches this, they'll get mad. But honestly, Tennessee fans, we don't like Kentucky, but we don't consider it a rivalry. We expect to win against Kentucky.
I mean, you own them in basketball too.
Yeah, we have been lately, but Kentucky's not
right. In the past 10.
Rick Barnes has a winning record against Calipari.
Yeah. Well, you don't say his name on this podcast.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hey, it's a new week, right? So.
Well, hold on. Well, we got to talk about Auburn.
Oh yeah, that was one thing. I said +4, but I also mentioned I was not comfortable going money line because of the exact same that happened. I said Bo Nix on the road in tough environments is terrible, and he proved it again Saturday.
Now, he wasn't terrible. He was absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, that's a better word for it.
He, I've been listening to podcasts all week, and just listening to Auburn fans, and they continue to blame everybody else around him, but the quarterback position. Oh, the offensive line didn't block. Oh, the wide receivers dropped balls. No. Bo Nix single-handedly lost us that game. I've watched the film. I've watched it all. I've watched people watch the film, and multiple chances we had, and all he did was check down to the running back. He had somebody wide open in the end zone, and he didn't even look his way. It was hut, check down, and you're not going to win like that. And Auburn won't be a lead until he leaves. So,
sometimes that's the play that's called, the little swing passes, because y'all do a lot of those in your offense. So sometimes it's what's called. And, some quarterbacks have the leeway to override the coach, but I don't think Bo's in the position to be able to do that yet because he hasn't. I mean, you can see it in the game. They don't trust him at all.
No.
And he just gets really antsy in the pocket. That's what annoys me when I watch him. When people are sprinting around him and he can step up, when DNs are coming around and he can just step up in the pocket and, increase the time he has to throw, he immediately feels it and sprints dead backwards. It's like, and then he loses 20 yards. Now there's some times where his athleticism takes over,
Yeah.
breaks a couple tackles, and then runs around and gets out of it. But most of the time, it's like a 22-yard loss, and it's like, well, the drive's over. It's completely over at that point.
Yeah, I know. Well,
But
we only had two or three drops, so it definitely wasn't the wide receivers, but I got another tough one this weekend. But well, let's start it off with North Carolina and Pittsburgh tonight. Pittsburgh is -6.5, and the over/under 71.5. What are you feeling tonight?
well, I mean, I'm a true believer in Kenny Pickett. I think he's going to be a great quarterback at the next level. I mean, I think he's a well-rounded quarterback overall. Really, their losses this year have come because their defense can't stop anybody. So I think me and you have talked about this. I don't know if I like Pittsburgh -7 or North Carolina +6.5. Or I think I would take Pittsburgh -6.5, but I'm going to do a teaser tonight. That's going to have basically Pittsburgh, basically a pick 'em -0.5 point, and the Ravens winning, and basically a pick 'em. I think it's -1 against the Dolphins. But if I had to pick it, and I think I know who you're picking, but if I had to pick, I go Pittsburgh -6.5. North Carolina, great game they had the other day. Kind of fluky though; they were down by 23 at one point in the second half, and it got hot there. And Wake Forest just kind of stopped playing offense for some reason until the very end of the game. So I think they have a little letdown this game, and I think Pittsburgh takes care of business.
Yeah, so I mean, first off, Pittsburgh's quarterback wears 2 gloves. I'd say that's steady. I mean, I don't know if he's
Bridgewater, yeah.
I don't know if he's been doing that all year, but
RG3 did it for a while.
You definitely can throw the ball better. But regardless of that, North Carolina hadn't played a game on actual grass since game 1 against Virginia Tech. They lost that game. North Carolina, I know they are pass heavy, but is it Ty Chandler, the old guy from Tennessee?
Tennessee, yeah.
He ran for 215 yards or so. But Pittsburgh's got the 15th ranked rush defense in the nation. I think they absolutely stopped the run tonight. Sam Howell, I don't think he passes well tonight. You know, it's an emotional win last weekend against Wake Forest. You know, the fans rushed the field, and I just feel like it was an emotional win. You know, it's going to be hard to come back and prepare for that on a short notice. And I like Pitt -6.5. And I think I did the teaser with you, but I got the over 66 as well.
So I have the over 66. I still think North Carolina, regardless of what happens, I still think North Carolina scores points for sure.
Yeah, they're going to score for sure. But I got the over 66.5 and Pittsburgh -0.5 point for that game.
Yeah, I'm feeling maybe like a 45-31 type game, something like that. Maybe a little bit less.
52 to 38 is kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, Pittsburgh for sure. The next game we got Michigan and Penn State. You know, I'm high on the Wolves, man. The Wolves this year, they shouldn't have lost to Michigan State. They did. It is what it is. You know, up 30 to 33-14 or 30-14 going in the fourth. And Harbaugh lost that game for him. I like McNamara. I like Michigan. They should be undefeated right now, but -1.5 is a joke. I think Michigan -1. I think Michigan's going to blow them out. No question. I like Michigan. I don't care about the over-under. I think they'll score, but 48.5 is tough. But Michigan -1.5, give me that. Bank it. More to lock.
Bank it. Okay. You're banking on a guy that literally never wins the big games, never wins them on the road. I don't know the stat on it. I'm pretty sure he's like really, I mean, it's like 0 of 20 or something playing on the road in big games. But I don't really like this Penn State team that much either this year. I do like Michigan State teams more than I do Penn State, but it's kind of like the Michigan State. Like Michigan's team more. Went with Michigan State more so because of Harbaugh. And I do like Sean Clifford. I actually think he's a better all-around quarterback.
I think he's a really good quarterback.
Absolutely. I think he can play, and I think they got the receivers around him to compete. Something's missing. This is so hard for me because I genuinely have no idea because it's basically a pick 'em. If I had to get, I think Harbaugh learns from it. He keeps McNamara in. I'll ride with you on that.
Please don't
put the freshman in late in the game, and I think they do. I don't think it's a drubbing though. I think it's a close one until the second half. Michigan can pull away. Yeah. I'll go Michigan with you.
Yeah, I think Michigan also. I mean, I think they have a really good defense. I think this could be one of Harbaugh's best teams he's ever had. I really do. I really like McNamara, and I
I
think
feel like they say that every year, though.
they do. They do. But I believe it this year. And a couple weeks, they're going to get Ohio State. I've been saying that since game one.
Well, I'm not saying they won't. Ohio State looks pretty bad.
They do.
Week in, week out. And honestly, my take on Ohio State, and this is going to be completely off topic, but my take on Ohio State is kind of like my take on the Chiefs. I just feel like they're going to get it going at some point, and they never do. It's like they never do. It's like each week I'm like, this is the week that they blow up. Not against bad teams. Yes, they beat, Indiana and their third-string quarterback by 50, but I'm talking about against legitimately mediocre to good teams. They just don't seem to do it. And I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore about either one of them.
Yeah. All right. So we have Oklahoma -5.5 against Baylor. What do you feel like?
Man, we were high. That's one of the games that we lost last week. We were high on Baylor last week because Gary Patterson was gone, and we just felt like they were gonna do it. I mean, in the first drive, they drove right on the field, scored a touchdown. I was like, okay, this is gonna be easy. I look up and it's like 14-7 TCU, and I was like, what just happened? But it's at home.
It is.
Oklahoma has struggled this year. I'm not taking Baylor outright, but I'll take him by the half point. I'll take him +6.
You like Baylor +6? I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go against you right here. I like Oklahoma -5.5. I think they're gonna pull it together. They got to pull it together. They're the fourth best team in the nation. You're about to. It's about to start. They got to start playing football better. They have to. They're gonna have to get it together.
Ohio State.
They're gonna have to get it together if they want to have a shot in the playoff. I like Caleb Williams. I think he's way better than Spencer Rattler, and I like Oklahoma. I think it's a close one, and I think it's going to be close all game. I think at the end of it, Oklahoma's going to pull away and they'll win by a touchdown. I would
be surprised by it.
Oklahoma by
6. It's a game I'm personally not going to bet it.
Absolutely not. I don't trust
either on it. I don't trust either team. I have no idea what Baylor is, and also I don't have any idea what Oklahoma is. Some weeks they look great, some weeks they look terrible.
Yep.
But if I had to pick, I would go Baylor. You go Oklahoma. Cool.
Next game we have Arkansas -2.5 versus LSU. Man, LSU's playing really good football right now.
At LSU.
At LSU, they have turned it around, and I like LSU +2.5, and I'll probably buy it up to 3. Give me LSU in the points. In Death Valley, defense is coming along. Max Johnson, he's okay. I think the defense is going to win the game for LSU. But for sure, give me LSU +3.
Mm-hmm. Game could be a trap. It could be a trap for people that believe in LSU based on the Alabama game. Maybe they are really, really turning around that defense because it was one of the worst defenses in the nation earlier this year. And it seems like every year though, their defense kind of comes around towards the end of the year, which is weird. Even in their national championship year, the very front of the year, they couldn't stop anybody. Burrow was just outscoring people like crazy.
Oh, Nix.
And then by the end of it, I mean, their defense was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go with it, even if I think it's a trap. I'm going to go LSU at home in Death Valley. Give me the.
I just don't trust Arkansas. They start out hot, and then all of a sudden, they kind of cooled off, and they just, barely slipped by.
It's like they gave every single ounce of will they had in that Ole Miss game because they battled all game, keeping up with them. Battled. Every time they would score,
That's the question. Do you go for 2 or you go for overtime?
Away, I mean, Ole Miss, they don't have like a home field advantage really. I don't know why their fans aren't very passionate.
I think it's 30,000, 35,000 people.
Yeah, that's the thing too. So that's why I say usually I think you go for 2 in that situation. Your offense can't stop the other team, or your defense can't stop the other team. Your offense has been playing so well, and it's away. So I think I don't hate the decision. If it happens and they make it, he's the greatest coach in the world. So I don't hate the decision.
But they ran all over them, and the last play you call is a pass.
Yeah, I think you can.
I think you do it.
You give them the option to. I think you just do an RPO.
Oh yeah.
Run pass option. You give it to if the DN comes down, he runs it and has the option to pass it, or if the DN comes up, then you just run it. I mean, he would have been able to run for 2 or 3 yards, 2.5 yards.
Yep.
So bad play call, but I don't mind the decision to go for 2.
Next game we have
LSU for sure.
Oh, next game we got Mississippi State and Auburn. Auburn absolutely shattered my heart last weekend. I am not a believer anymore. They were all talking about playoff chances, and Auburn controls their own destiny, and I bought into it, and I bought into Bo Nix because he had been playing well. Give me Mississippi State +6. I don't believe in Bo. Our offense has not scored a touchdown in 6 quarters. I think we'll be scoreless until the second quarter. I think we'll go 7, and then we'll score a touchdown finally. Mississippi State has been playing pretty good. Will Rogers, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception last week, and I think he's like 76% completion percentage right now. I'm really just pissed off at Auburn still. But I think Mississippi State's going to keep it close. We have no answer right now on offense. We're an absolute disaster. I think it's going to come down to a field goal. Mississippi State can't kick field goals for some reason. Mike Leach asked for an open tryout this week, so I wonder if they found a kicker or not. But I think it's a game-winning field goal by Auburn, and I like Mississippi State in the points.
Okay. Well, seems like after every game, a lot of the fans don't hate Bo, but there is some fans that do hate Bo. I think after every game, it seems like he does respond, especially when they go home against, relatively. Mississippi State's defense isn't that bad. They have actually very, very much improved this year. I do believe in Rodgers. I truly do. I think he's a darn good quarterback, and he's going to be good for a while there at Mississippi State. But I would take Auburn. I think they win 31-24.
31-24.
Yeah. I think Bo bounces back.
That's a big question.
I think Auburn bounces back. I don't know if Bo never really has amazing games, Even in your wins, he's still only around 200 passing yards. So I don't think you need him that much to beat Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State's a solid team, but I still believe Auburn is a solid team. It's just Bo, man. When he goes in tough environments on the road, he's just not very good. But when he plays in Jordan-Hare, he seems to figure out at least enough to get the win. So I think they win by around 7 points.
Blows my mind that he only plays good at home. It just, I don't get it.
Some quarterbacks are like that, man.
I think he has before going in, and this is probably an older stat, but I think he had 2 touchdowns and 12 interceptions or some just crazy stat on the road. It just, I don't know I just don't know how that happens. How can you not be consistent? Regardless, we're not going to get into that. All right, next game we got Georgia and Tennessee. We got Tennessee +20. Over under is 56. How you feeling with your balls?
I like where we are. I like our offense. We score so quickly though, and our defense is too thin to be out there on the field that long. That's what you saw versus Kentucky. We kept scoring so quickly that Kentucky would have to have these long 10 to 12 play drives, but it exhausted our defense. And finally, Alontae Taylor, he's been in the Tennessee program for a while. He's a darn good cornerback, and he just read it and took it to the house, and that was really the separation of the game. But I like where we are and everything. I do believe we hang close in there for the first half. Georgia hasn't seen a fast-paced offense like ours, and no team that can go down the field like us. We have a lot of big plays, and they haven't seen that just yet out of anybody they played. The other teams they played are really, really, dink and dunk type teams like an Auburn that loves to throw screen passes and screens. We do too, but we can also go down the field. I'm saying a little bit closer in the first half than people think, but I think Georgia pulls away, wins 38-20, and Vols cover barely. Late in the game, they will cover.
How is your offensive line right now? Are they healthy?
I think the healthiest we've been in a while.
Was it Cade or Cooper Mays that was kind of hurt for a minute with his foot?
Cade the last 2 games is, 100 offensive snaps, zero pressures. Jerome Carvin, our center, in place of Cooper, who is Jerome Carvin is generally like the right guard, but Cooper is still hurt. But Jerome's has 100 snaps with no pressure, so he's a good replacement. But dude, how can you stop Jordan Davis? He's 6'8".
You double team him.
400 pounds.
You double team him.
Then someone's loose, right?
So this is my upset of the week right here.
There's just no way.
Something about Neyland Stadium at 2:30. Tennessee fans all-time high confidence. Y'all haven't been this good in a while. I think a lot of noise right now is going in. A lot of pressure is in the Georgia program right now. You know, they had one of their leading linebackers just turn himself in last night. I think I don't know if they're going to be as focused. Neyland Stadium's going to be rocking. I like Tennessee on the points, but I wouldn't be surprised right now at this point if Tennessee wins outright. Offense is just scoring willingly. I just feel like there's a lot of pressure on Georgia right now. A lot. The whole state is all focused on Georgia, and then they always mess up. When was the last time they even won a national championship? I don't even know.
85, I think.
85. I just feel
80 or 85. 1980, I think. Yeah, 1980.
My question is, do you want to slip up now or do you want to slip up later? I think they beat Alabama. I think right now they're going to slip up one game, and so they can at least get the pressure off of them, because you'd rather lose now than get to the playoffs and just fold in the first round, Georgia fan. I mean, it's just going to be typical Georgia, and Kirby Smart's going to be the Mark Richt 2.0. I think right now with the game being at Neyland is a little bit more, and it will help them more. I think this Tennessee team will be the best thing that they have played all year.
It's not really saying much.
It's not because we thought Clemson.
I mean, Auburn still is. I still think you guys are a solid team, especially in Jordan Hare.
Yeah, but in a hostile environment, I like Tennessee plus 20, regardless of the money line. Probably not going to happen, but if it happened, I called it. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Is that really a call, though?
I mean, hey, it sounded good.
Yeah, we're too thin. They'll
pull away. Thin on defense. They probably will pull away in third, fourth quarter.
They'll pull away late.
Yeah,
not late, but second half they'll pull away. They'll go make adjustments. I think they just need to see our offense in person for Kirby to make adjustments. It's hard to just emulate that offense in practice. I mean, it's almost impossible.
Yeah,
especially with Hendon Hooker. I mean, dude is just. He fell in our lap, man. There's not much I can say. I mean, 20 plus touchdowns, 2 picks. Dude is phenomenal. I mean, he really is. It concerns me that Joe is starting at the middle of the year or at the beginning of the year, but who wouldn't start Joe, man? He's 6'5", with a bazooka for an arm. Like,
I had him as a Heisman finalist. I was watching his highlights like, dude, this kid right here.
That's what everybody does. And then he gets an actual game and he's just not. But Hendon is that kid, and Mel Kiper's got him 6 or 7 on his big board already. He's moving up, so I'm scared he's already going to leave us next year, which sucks because Harrison Bailey's leaving. So we'll see what happens. And we'll be stuck with Joe, but we'll see what happens.
I tell you this, and I've already told you before, but Joe Milton should take another snap in Tennessee uniform. Absolutely,
he hasn't.
How can you, knowing going into the game, you have 3 or 5 seconds, whatever, how many seconds there are, and you run out of bounds. And then after the game, you take your helmet off and then you start dabbing up Ole Miss players. Get out of here. You're not taking
it. Play, man.
You ain't on my team no more. Next game, we got Purdue and Ohio State. Purdue is plus 21. They are at Ohio State in the Horseshoe, over under 62.5. How you feeling? 21's a lot.
We rode with Purdue last week, right? I was actually really confident in that.
I was too.
But Purdue is one of those teams that they play good one week, they play terrible the next. Play good one week, play terrible the next.
Do it one time.
But they have had their fair share of good games against Ohio State in the past. They're not going to win, but there's no way I can bet Ohio State in this game.
No,
I feel like I try to bet Ohio State all the time, and I think it's going to click. And watch, this will be the game that they finally click. But I'm going Purdue plus 21. I don't trust Ohio State.
I think I've won one game this year with betting on Ohio State, and that was against Indiana, and I was watching it live, and I saw the backup quarterback go out, and they had to throw a freshman. I don't think they had even taken snaps all year, and I was like, okay, they're going to win. They ended up winning 54-7, and obviously they covered. I mean,
Ohio State wins at home. This is not one of those games where I'm like, Purdue's going to come in here and upset. I'm not saying that they don't have a shot, but I'm going Purdue plus 21. But I wouldn't take a money line.
Purdue?
Right.
No. I just think it's too much emotion last week. And just like I said, North Carolina, I think they put it all out for Michigan State last weekend. That was their Super Bowl. They're content for the year. It's tough to go into Ohio State and win. I like plus 21, but I definitely could see Ohio State coming out and just absolutely putting the pieces together. Like I said, I think 21 points is too much. You have to go 21. You have to.
Yeah.
And you may lose it. It is what it is, but 21 points is a lot. 3 touchdowns is a lot, especially for Ohio State team that hasn't covered really much all year. I like the over 62.5.
I like that as well.
Their defense isn't that great.
I'm thinking if they cover, it's like a 45-20 game.
45-20, yeah. I'm kind of seeing that as well.
And if they don't, it's like 45-28-ish.
Yep. And then we have the game of the night, Texas A&M Ole Miss. Texas A&M is minus 2.5. I don't really know. Texas A&M's offense is not that great. Calzada didn't look that great against Auburn. Auburn kind of dominated that game defensively. They couldn't put it in the end zone. They ran the ball really well, though. I will say I think they had over 200 yards rushing. Ole Miss is struggling. They are at home. I don't think the whole home field advantage is going to be a big part in it. I just think that Ole Miss can score, unlike Auburn. I like Ole Miss plus 3 in this game. I do.
It's a tough game.
Because if we pass the ball better, we win that game. Bo Nix just missed multiple passes.
Well, is their receivers back? Like, they were down to their 4th receiver against y'all. They haven't been struggling. They just didn't have it against y'all. And then against Liberty, they jumped out to 27-0, kind of let the foot off the gas.
Yeah, I ain't worried about that game. Injuries, I don't know. I haven't kept
That's the big key. I should have researched this before. I may research it while you're talking about the next one, just so I know, because I think that's a big deal. It's at home. It doesn't really matter in Ole Miss. And if we ever have any Ole Miss viewers, they'll probably get mad at us for that. But can you blame us? It's not a very big stadium, and it just doesn't seem like the fans are ever that into it.
Yeah.
I'm going with the better quarterback, though. But Lane he always shoots himself in the foot, I feel like.
He does. Why? I don't understand why he goes for it on 4th down all the time. I just punt the ball. Kick a field goal.
Yeah, I think I'm going Matt Corral, though. I think he'll get it done if they have the receivers. If they don't have their top 3 receivers, I think Texas A&M could get it done. But I'm going with Matt Corral for right now in Ole Miss. Hopefully, Lane and that stats guy back there is saying, Lane, don't go for it on 4th and 8 in the red zone. It's just, it makes no, especially 3 times in a row. It's like, get the points and go.
There was a picture of the stats guy kind of holding the book, and he was like, I don't know about that one. And then they didn't get it.
Yeah, the analytics guy is like, it's like, he's almost like us when we're betting. When we lose, we just want more. So we keep betting, we keep losing. It's like him when he doesn't get the first 4th down in the red zone. Then every time he gets there and it's 4th down, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get it this time. I'm gonna get
this time." No, ain't gonna happen,
dude. It's 4th and 7 plus. Take your points. Take your medicine. It's okay.
And that is it for college football. We're gonna move on to NFL now. Tonight, Ravens, Dolphins. Ravens are minus 8.5. Over/under is 46. I looked at the weather. There's going to be about 41% thunderstorms at about 8 p.m. And Tua's out.
Okay, that's what I was about to look up here. I didn't know if Tua was out.
Is out. It is said it is very unlikely for him to play tonight. The Ravens did struggle against the Vikings last weekend. I think 8.5 is a lot. I really do. Like I said, like the teaser we did earlier, Ravens minus 1.5, I'm kind of confident in. I just don't know how good the Ravens are, is my thing. But how bad are the Dolphins?
Coming into the season, everybody was like, the Dolphins, they could make a run at the playoffs this year.
The defense is.
Their defense is pretty good, and that's what I think scares me the most. It's not their offense. They probably won't score at all, hardly. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is a very capable backup. There's no doubt about that. Heck, with the way Tua has been playing over his first couple of years, he may even be better than Tua. I don't know. Yeah. That's not me saying it. I just don't know what Tua is yet because seems like he's always injured, just like, that in the end of his college era, he was injured. But it's just hard, dude, because the Vikings, in my opinion, are one of the best below 500 teams in it.
Kirk
They have
Cousins,
Dalvin
he's
Cook.
not
They have
it.
Justin Jefferson. They have Adam Thielen. It's only Kirk.
It
You
is.
never know what you're going to get. Some games he
No,
comes out,
Dalvin
he's
Cook.
amazing. Huh? I mentioned
Oh,
Dalvin. Some games he comes out, he's amazing. Some games he comes out and he's terrible. This past game, he came out and he was pretty darn good. Ravens and the teaser, I like that for sure. I think they're going to win this game. I think they're a very, very good team. Like you, am I comfortable taking them 8.5? No, but I am comfortable in my teaser. But if I had to pick it, 8.5 Ravens, yes.
I like Dolphins +9. I'm going to buy the half point.
Okay, plus 9. Yeah.
I mean, 9's tough. I mean, especially for an NFL game. I like the over 46.
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough. Like I said, I'm not putting money on Ravens minus.
No, I'm not either. No, definitely don't.
Because I don't know what I'm going to get. But minus, I mean, if you were going to take a teaser tonight, if you haven't, obviously, we think Pitt Ravens teaser with an over in the Pitt game is pretty solid. But yeah.
Sunday, we got the Jags and Colts. Jaguars off a big win versus the Bills. 9-6, baby.
What is this NFL season, man? What is this NFL season?
I don't think it's the weekend of the underdogs anymore. I really don't. I think that was just Vegas needing some money back. I like Colts -10. I like Colts -10. I think. I don't trust Carson Wentz. I trust Colts defense and I trust the run game. Carson Wentz just has to make a couple passes and they should be able to cover 10.
Colts -10. I don't really have much to say about that. I think the Jags are a bad team. You know, Josh Allen is a heck of a player. He had a heck of a game against Josh Allen. Josh Allen versus Josh Allen. Isn't that a tongue twister? But
I saw that.
I don't think the Jags are any good. I truly, like I mentioned last week when they played the Jets, I truly believe the Colts are a very solid football team that, you know, they got unfortunate that they have the Titans in their division, you know? So I got the Colts -10. I'd get the half point. It's still a big line. It's still scary, but Colts -10.
We have the Browns and Patriots. How are you feeling about that game? Baker's hot.
The games this week are tough. Like college and NFL are so tough. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Baker. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's average, but I think he can get the job done with the running back. Chubb and Kareem Hunter out. Where's it at? New England?
Yep.
God, but I still believe in the Browns, dude. I really do think the Browns are a pretty good team, but I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't bet the Browns this game. I think the Patriots are charging, man. They're a pretty good football team. I think they can get it done. It's only 2.5. I think they can cover that.
So who are you picking? Patriots?
Yeah.
Damn it, man. That's who I'm going with. I've been riding the Patriots all year. And
they're a good football team.
They have continued to cover all year. They even covered last weekend. I like the Patriots and -2.5. A field goal. Hey, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I ain't got a lot to say about it, but Patriots just because I've been winning with them. Next game we have Falcons and Cowboys. This is in Dallas. Cowboys are 8.5. Over under is 54.5.
Cowboys really made me mad last week. I don't like the Cowboys at all. I actually hate them, but I've loved to bet them this year because they've covered most games. I do think this is a bounce back game. I do think they win. Do they cover 9? The Falcons are a better football team, I think, than what people think. At home, though, for the Cowboys. Matt Ryan's been playing better.
Oh,
+9. I'll take the
you're in
Falcons.
Atlanta. Come on now.
I'll take the Falcons +9.
Falcons up.
Now, do I think that's bad? Would I bet that either way? No, because I think Dak has a bounce back game. I think he goes ballistic. He had a really bad game last week. Maybe just some rust, shaking off some rust.
Did you watch it all?
He's back. The Cowboys game, did I watch?
With the Broncos?
They were down 30-0 in the fourth. He got a bunch of garbage time stats.
So did they just not move the ball?
No, none at all. He had 30 yards passing in the third quarter.
I saw he was 5 for 11 to start the game, and I just kind of was like, well. And then it was 16-0, and then I would look at the app. They'd have the ball. 3 minutes later, Broncos had it. So I don't know what happened, but They got to have a bounce back. I think their defense is great. I don't know what happened last weekend. I don't know if it was a fluke or if Vegas said, hey, we need all the underdogs to win to get our money back. I have no idea. I think it was a fluke, no question. I like Cowboys -8. I think they'll blow out the Falcons.
Taking a half point.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy the half point for sure.
Yeah.
Next game we have Saints and Titans. Saints. I'm sorry. Titans are -3. The over/under is 44.5. I don't understand why it's 3. Alvin Kamara is out. They've worked out 3 running backs, one of them being Kerryon Johnson, I believe, from Auburn. Play with the Lions. I don't know why he's not on the Lions anymore, but on the Lions for a while. I don't understand why this line is 3 points. I don't. I think Titans blow them out, especially when they're third string quarterback. They just continue. They don't respect the Titans at all. So give me Titans and Titans -3. I'm gonna hammer that. That's my mortal lock of the week for NFL. Titans -3. Easy.
The Titans defense. They look good. They for sure do. Their pass rush is unbelievable now, which allows our corners and our safeties to actually be themselves. Allows Kevin Byard to be himself. He doesn't have to guard 100 different positions. He can just be a free safety and do what he does best, which is ball hawk. I don't trust Trevor Siemian, especially without Alvin Kamara. I would love to say over 44, but can the Saints score without Alvin?
And Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is supposed to be back in week 5 or 6, and he said,
I don't know if it's a blowout, like a blowout, but I'm going Tennessee -3. I don't know why it's or -2. Is it -2.5 or -3? Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee -3 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we win by a field goal, we push. That's worst case scenario, but I think we win the game overall. Next game we have Vikings and Chargers. Chargers are -3.
Where's it at? I think it's in Minnesota.
No.
Okay, it's in LA.
I don't know with the Chargers this year. They've been struggling.
I thought they're off and on. What do you mean? They haven't struggled. They're having a good year. 6-3.
Is he having a good year? They're 6-3.
Yeah, something like that. Or 5. They're not 5. I think they may be 5-4. Herbert's having a great year.
Oh, I thought they were going to be a little bit better. I guess.
Or like 40 points in fantasy last week. He went off.
Shit.
They're 5-3. They're going to.
I don't trust the Vikings. I won't do it. I'll never trust them with Kirk at quarterback. I like Chargers -3.
Yeah, I don't trust the Vikings either. I got Chargers -3 as well. I trust Herbert over.
No question.
Over Kirk any day of the week. Now, he may have one of those games.
He may have it, but I don't think it's.
He may have it, but I'm okay to lose that. Some bets you're okay with losing. You're like, I mean, what can you do?
Next game we have Packers -3 versus Seahawks. It's in Lambeau Field. I believe Russell Wilson is back. Is this the first game with him being back? I guess.
Yep.
He's going to be off a little bit, for sure. He's going to be off, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be back. He seemed fine the next day after he tested positive. He was on all the talk shows. I think Packers blow them out.
Yeah, I don't think it's a blowout, but I think especially if it's +120 -3.
Yeah, because
if AR is back, they win and cover. And if it's +120, I mean, that's easy. I would take that all day and be okay with losing that bet.
What'd you say?
If it's +120?
No, -120.
Dude, I thought you said +120.
No, -120, and then the other. I think Seahawks are -105. So everyone's just hammering right now the Packers.
Yeah. I got Packers -3 as well.
It's probably going to move up and to probably -3.5 and kind of go back.
So we need a hammer right now.
-10, correct. But I don't like 12 games till Sunday because I bet college.
Yeah, I mean the Seahawks defense is nothing like they used to be in the Legion of Boom. They haven't been the same. Now they'll be able to score. They'll be able to put up some points, but the Packers defense is very improved from what they've been in the past. So I got Packers -3 in that game.
Devontae's back. I don't know.
Scanling's back.
Is it Adam Lazard?
Lazard, I'm pretty sure is back. I'm pretty sure they got
first name Adam.
Huh?
Is his first name Adam?
Allen.
Alan Lazard. Okay. Sunday night game. Chiefs and Raiders.
This game is just like, how can you bet this game? It's because, like I said about I'll say it every single week. I just feel like they're going to get it together, and they just don't. Like, they've won the past 2 weeks, but they beat the Giants barely, and they squeaked it out against the AR-less.
Shouldn't even beat
Packers.
The Giants. Giants should have won that game. I mean, they're an absolute nightmare. I don't know if you've sat down and watched them play.
I have.
Absolute nightmare.
I've never seen I've never seen someone look like they could end up being the GOAT for 3 years or for 2 years, and then this year it's just, I don't know what's going on. I haven't watched enough of him or enough of their like line to know if the line is. I know they have a young line, could be it, or it could just be
Trey Smith's there. Bad. I think he's right guard or tackle.
But the thing is, still give me Pat Mahomes over Derek Carr.
Yeah,
I'm going Chiefs.
I like Chiefs plus 2.5.
Right?
No, it's in Las Vegas.
That changes things. So
I don't think so. I think there's too much going on outside, and we all know what's all going on with the Raiders. You know, Gruden's gone, Henry, and I just feel like it's too much commotion right now. The Chiefs have to get.
I'm saying it changes me being very confident in my Chiefs. Oh, yeah. I'm still going Chiefs.
I'm confident with Chiefs with a field goal.
Yeah,
just a field goal.
Same.
And our last game of the night, our last game was a Monday night, Rams and 49ers. Rams are -4, which blows my mind. I think Rams get it back together. Is OBJ going to be able to play Monday night?
I don't know. The Rams, I'm pretty sure the McVay system can be kind of complicated to learn, but why not just have him out there? You know,
just run straight,
or just a few play, like maybe not every down, but some of the downs. I don't know what's going to happen there. I think with or without OBJ, I don't think it matters. I think Von Miller is going to play.
He is.
They bounce back. I mean, the 49ers, even though it's at 49ers, and they do have the means to upset teams, they lost to, and love my boy Colt, man. I used to love watching him on Texas, but he diced him up. He was like 15 and 19, 250 yards passing. I know the Cardinals are all around a good football team, so when they lose their quarterback, they're still okay. But I got the Rams. I mean, the Rams, you know, besides last week, I thought they're the best team in the NFL. So, you know,
I did too.
The Titans showed them that they can be beat too. So, but still, Rams -4. They bounce back. They cover 7+. I think they win by 7+.
I agree. Yep, I agree. Rams -4, and Matthew Stafford. I really like him. And you know, if it wasn't for my Titans, I want him to win a Super Bowl, at least one.
Yeah,
great quarterback.
I wouldn't mind it, no doubt.
Wouldn't be upset with it. But anyways, all right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to episode 2. I'm Peyton, and this is Rhett. See y'all next weekend.
Let's get it. Let's have a good week.
How do I pause it? Oh, stop.